afternoon, hello, good evening, good night, hello everybody. Welcome to the newest episode of Spill the RT. Hello, Josh.
Hello, Eamonn. Hello, folks. We have all kinds of weird shit for you this week, that's for sure.
Where are you speaking from today, Josh?
I'm in New York.
Unique New York. And I'm in London, darling, where all of the art is happening at the moment. So, yes, is it as good over there as it is over here?
I'm in the Lower East Side. I got 1,400 galleries in the city around me. I'm pretty sure we have a little bit of art here.
You have a little few more than I think what London has. But in saying that, let's get on with the show. Who have we got today?
Well, I do believe we have a member of Nua who's coming to see us.
We do, Carol, and as you can see, I've correctly or incorrectly named myself here as Carol. But let's bring on the real Carol, shall we? Let's do it. Hello, Carol. Welcome to the show. It's the real Carol. And look, you're labelled appropriately too.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, Carol. Carol, we will speak to you a little later on in the show about you, about your practice, and about what's happening in Carol's world today. I've got the shakes coming out here like this now again. I'm going into my rap city again as I was in episode 1. But let's chill the socks right now. Josh, where are we going to first?
So for this first one, we go over to Philadelphia and the ongoing meltdown of art schools, certainly in the United States, and certainly it's parts of the world as well, right? And so Philadelphia University of the Arts, the United States, you have to undergo an accreditation visit every couple of years. And it's a way of re-verifying that you're able to do higher education, right? If you don't have that, you can still have students, but they can't transfer. Their credits don't count. Their degrees aren't real in the same kind of way. Right. So they lost their accreditation. Within less than 2 days after hearing about that, they told everybody, we're closing the school. And then within 2 days after that, the president had resigned. And so it's hundreds and hundreds of students, hundreds and hundreds of staff members, hundreds of instructors, all caught out with no warning, no nothing. And to their credit, I will say this, SVA, where I'm going for my MFA, immediately said, anybody from this school, we have a spot for you, and we guarantee it's not going to be any more with us than it was with them. So there are schools that are trying to step in here, but it's just a really screwed up kind of situation because it came out of nowhere. And then what are you supposed to do if you're one of 700 instructors who now doesn't have a job?
I was reading quite a bit about it there over the last week, and it was saying that Middle States accreditation has been removed from the academy. And I suppose this is just another nail in the coffin for those who are in the arts and who are losing jobs. I mean, we had this last week with Sotheby's, with the reducing staff members there, and now we're seeing this at a university level. And there's been lots of videos broadcast across YouTube and on the news as well, where they're showing students that are in utter distress, the fact that where will they go next year? And then teachers who have had their years of their career just dedicated to that university, and now it's just taking from beneath them.
Yeah, and different schools have found different ways to work with this issue over the years. SVA has nobody who's full-time. Everybody is part-time and employed artists in whatever their field is, right? So the school is able to sort of maintain itself because the instructors are not dependent on the instruction for their way of life, right? They're not really paying their bills in the same kind of way. They have other needs. In Philly, that was it. These were all full-time. These were people with tenure. These were people, long-time teachers. And it just, more than anything, it's out of the blue, the complete suddenness of no warning. And then an explosion, right? The school is now closed. What am I supposed to do? I don't even have time to try to find an alternative or do something different.
They were fired over Zoom.
Yeah.
And it was an 8-minute conversation. Yeah. Fired over Zoom. How inhumane for a course that is holistic in its essence and by its very nature. And they are fired by Zoom. I mean, obviously that's the law firms that they brought in to do that for them. They couldn't even do it themselves.
Well, when your president's on the verge of resigning, and that means the board as well is on the way out, right? And it's like just a house collapsing behind you. It reminds me of something from like an Indiana Jones film, except it's real people that are being affected by it, right? Like everything just collapses. And it's just a real shame because one of the alternatives, if you're an artist, is, right, you become a teacher. The whole point of going to grad school to get that MFA is to allow you in a way to like pay your bills and also helping artists out.
we all must sustain ourselves in lots of other different mundane jobs that we have to do. But also in a university like that, you're just, there a lot of people are so passionate about being teachers and transferring their knowledge. I know you're a teacher too, Josh, and I know, Carl, that you teach quite a bit too as well. So, I mean, it must be devastating for them.
Well, this is also the oldest art school in the United States. And so to have it close is one thing. To have it close suddenly is another. To have it literally just kind of catastrophically collapse is, I think, literally, what has killed the donkey here. It's over, and no one has really found a way. There's no going back, right? The money's gone, the school's gone. Now it's just trying to do something better.
Absolutely. Carl, is there something here that have you learned about the story, or have you any kind of thoughts on it?
This is news to me, actually, and I kind of feel a bit sick to my stomach listening to it. It's really horrible. This out of the blue action, the Zoom, getting fired through Zoom, it's horrible. Like, there's no respect in that.
I think the other way you can think about it, though, is it just makes art on the same equivalent level as everything else in the world today, right? 8 minutes to fire people over Zoom? I've heard of 2 minutes. So they got 6 more minutes than many employers give their employees when they do mass firings like that.
True.
So it's just another symptom of kind of the chaos that is swirling around us in different ways. And why should art be exempt from that? I think that's why artists are necessary, right? Because they feel it and then try to do something as a result of that. So we'll see.
I think those protests, and I think I'll just refer back to that image again, it's just testament to what it is, that how they feel about this, and potentially how many other employees in many other different industries feel about when they are put up for the firing line, especially at that level. 700, was 600 or 700 people who were fired from that. Absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, it was 700 instructors and I think about 1,100 students who were impacted in minutes. Just boom, here you go.
I think that's that story spilt, and we will move swiftly along. So we are going to potentially the planet of the apes now. Josh, have you any... let's give us an introduction to what's happening here, because I've heard a few things about this story. I'm not a gamer, so I don't know. Are you a gamer, Josh?
I'm a little bit. I have friends who are gamers. What I think makes this most funny is it's a classic bait and switch. Right? To begin with, these are NFTs, like we've talked about in other episodes in the past, right? Mm-hmm. These are not things that are substance. They are electronic. And so you're paying money to have something in a wallet that can't ever really be physicalized in the way that we think of it, right? It just doesn't work that way. That's why Hearst had a choice. One or the other. You can't have both. Mm-hmm. So I need funding supposedly for a video game. Well, how do I do that? I create a unique set of NFTs, and I say, when you sell this, that's also going to help to fund the video game. Well, it turns out, guess what? The money rolled in, and ain't no video game. Bait and switch, baby. Bait and switch.
These are the NFT examples of the evolved apes. And I mean, they look really cool. And I think they have that really old school video game style, don't they? Where, it's kind of like that rough around the edges kind of thing. And I found this video as well, which I thought was quite interesting in some of my own research about this. Let me see, can I get it? Here it is. And this is a promo video for that video game, and that they generated, and like it's generated in 360p as well. So for those who don't know what that is, it's like the lowest possible video quality that is out there. To kind of promote that this is what's going to happen if you do buy into this NFT collection. So I just thought it was just like, oh my God.
Yeah. But there's a sucker born every minute, right? And certainly when it comes to art, I don't know every artist I know gets reached out to on like IG. You want to sell me your art, but I only buy NFT. Right?
As soon as you said that, Josh, a sucker born every minute, kapow, pow, pow. It's like, we're going to give one here. And it's like, we're going to do exactly what it says in the game. I've got you, and I've got you good. And now, I mean, are they going to get anything, are they going to get anything back, any money back? Will they get any compensation for those who are the suckers that bought those?
They have the NFTs, right? The thing is, it's in a digital wallet. And if you can find someone to buy it from you, well, then you can trade your Ethereum for your NFT and, right? I mean, convert your Ethereum back to dollars or whatever you want to convert it to. So there's potential there. But I mean, the collapse of Christie's whole area that was dealing with NFT art, I think, shows. Like Christie's and Sotheby's couldn't make this work. People are now fired from those jobs. So the message to me is you may be able to propagate with this kind of stuff. but it's not really an return on investment in the way that we would think about it.
No. I mean, we spoke about how controversial elements of art can be profitable. So potentially maybe this big new story might make it somewhat valuable.
Well, but I think, again, could contrast with Hearst. Hearst gave people an option, right? And physicalizing it allowed you then to really have something afterwards. And in a way, canceling out the digital, right? Burning the file, not electronically burning, not physically burning the computer or something. But that is a way of like making it definite for the owner of the new piece that there's no other way of going back in that kind of way. NFTs, just copy and paste. Like, how many different copies of an ape can get an AI to do it for you? You want 1 million apes doing something, pounding away at typewriters? Here, I'll get the AI to do it.
Give me a grid of 10,000 apes in this image speaking, or in this composite. Go. Carol, have you any interest in this story? Where's your view on this?
When I saw the images, I just thought of Damien Albarn and the Gorillas. That's what I thought I was going to see. So I like the funky look. I'm really old school, so NFTs, I don't know what this is. But yeah, I like the idea of it. If an artist is out there, whatever he's doing digitally or whatever, and he's making money, good. And like it's part of art history, really, isn't it?
It's absolutely drawing on like the Rat Fit tradition of drawing hot cars and Hot Wheels and trading cards kind of things.
Yeah.
But right, it's trying to use that as a way of covering over the fact, by the way, none of this is real, but hey, give me your cash. That's classic. That's exactly how every snake oil salesperson does their job.
That's that tea spilled, I think, and we shall swiftly move along. But before that, I just want to give you all just a little insight to Nua Collective. Nua Collective is a visual arts community, home to 20 artists and hundreds of artworks by those artworks, with fresh works added weekly. Our Nua journal featuring articles and podcasts, and our beautiful print publications highlighting our collaborative exhibitions. Blackout has just toured the world internationally and is coming to Ireland again in August, with more information about that very soon. And that is Nua Collective. Do join us on www.nuacollective.com. So, we are going to move swiftly on now. And just before we came on air, we were going through a couple of different topics of what we might potentially cover today. And Josh was like, Eamonn, why have you not got the Stuart in? I was like, beat the Stuart in. I was like, oh yeah, that. Okay, cool. Well, Stuart, we are coming for you now. Josh, what's going on?
It's more like Stuart is coming for Anish Kapoor. I swear to God, I wish I were gay, because I would marry Stuart Semple if I could, because the man is a frickin' genius in terms of pissing off someone who's a total pain in the ass in the art world. So the background on this goes back now more than a decade. Anish Kapoor was working with a company to produce what's called Vanta Black, this special carbon nanotool, darkest, blackest thing ever, right? And he basically said, look, it's mine only. No one else gets to use this. This pissed Stuart Semple off to no end, right? And so he then originally came up with what was called Black 1.0, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. And he's done other colors as well. What he's really best at, in addition to putting out things and saying you can buy this unless you are Anish Kapoor, you have to sign a little checkbox when you order paints from him that I am not Anish Kapoor. He will not sell to him, right? So then the issue becomes, well, are you going to just try to sell products, or are you actually going to antagonize him? And so that's what Semple has been doing in different ways. And this week, what did he do? He changed his name to Anish Kapoor.
We have this little document here of it proving facts. But I think even more interesting, and I ran to get this because I think this is just genius. This is him going in to change his name legally. And the video here, as you can see, he is telling us about his journey to doing so. So in he goes, and there it is. He is Anish Kapoor.
And if you want someone who's made the best use of Instagram as a way of both promoting their business and their artistry and their creativity, and also giving a middle finger to people, piss them off along the way, I mean, Stuart he's just a god. He really is. He's god level across the board. And the paints are fantastic.
Is this who you aspire to be, Josh?
Seriously, if I could pull off what this guy's pulled off, I would really feel like I have done something in giving a middle finger to this world. Absolutely.
It's kind of funny because there's a lot of comedians out there that try and do this, for like it's just to show the big man, the middle finger. And I think he does this incredibly well. Carol, do you know anything about Stuart Semple or now Anish or?
Well, I know who Anish Kapoor is, yeah, for sure. And Stuart Semple came up on my Instagram. I didn't know anything. I don't know how he came into my feed. I have been following him for the last few years, and so I know all about this. But I just can't get over how easy it is to go and change your name, just like that. And yeah, he's really got some energy for, chasing down Kapoor. Like, so fair play to him because
He sure does.
that's yeah.
Well, as I say, what I appreciate is, as a painter, the paints that he's come up with, they're not cheap by any means, but they really are really good. And Black 4.0 is just amazing. I've seen it on paints that's been painted on, and it basically just virtually disappears something out of the universe in terms of collecting light. And so it is a very useful thing. The pink was so pink. It was pink to the point where he wouldn't allow it to be sold to Kapoor. Kapoor managed to get a hold of some of it and took a shot for Instagram of him dipping his middle finger in the pink and then going middle finger to Stuart. So I think that's what the start of this was okay, well, you're gonna give me a middle finger? I'm gonna find a way to give you the ultimate middle finger. I'm taking your name, buddy. I'm taking your name.
Oh dear. Okay, cool. And has there been any kind of repercussions to this, or what's the feedback been? Or is there any kind of reply?
It's been a lot of humor as of now. Everyone's just laughing at Stuart's video, and I guess we'll see what Anish Kapoor, the original, the first, Anish Kapoor, the first. We'll see what he does in replying next, right?
Well, we will keep posted to that story, and I think we may be speaking about Anish Kapoor in the future. So
it's the story that's been going on for 10 years, folks. We will update you for sure on that at some point in the future. So you better follow, like, and suggest this to your friends, because you're going to really miss out on some good stuff.
This is very true. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. So we are moving swiftly along. We are getting through it today, guys. We are now going to swiftly move straight into you, Carol. Not with any any sort of violence or anything, but we're gonna move over to you now. And we have been working on something really exciting with you, Carol, in the last few weeks, trying to promote Marymount Hospice and trying to give them some really, really worthy funds to support what it is that they do. This is the work that you are putting up for auction, which you can do so now on our website at www.nuacollective.com. But can you tell us just in a really quick, brief way, what this means to you?
It's just really nice because I'm getting to support the charity with a drawing that I made when I suppose I made it when my father was going through a tough time and he was at the end of his life. So at the time, I didn't realise that this drawing was going to end up being the one that I chose in the auction. So it's a personal thing for me, an experience I had. So yeah, I'm just delighted that if we can raise money for Marymount, it'd be perfect.
Brilliant. Well, look, you can learn more about that on our website. And please do, if you have a chance, get bidding on this. It's starting at the reserve price of about £150. So get onto our website and start bidding. And this is all going to a really, really worthy cause. But now we're going to just move swiftly through to your own work. Cara, can you tell us a little bit what you're working on at the moment?
At the moment, I'm working on paper using really simple methods, colouring pencils, some watercolour pencils and watercolour. This series has just, not a series, but like this group of drawings that you're looking at. I suppose I had time to pause and reflect on my work for a while. I'm a mark maker and I use repetition a lot. So yeah, I was just at that point, and I just wanted to know, I was like, what's my style? What's my signature look in my artwork? And I wanted to make a new body of work. And funny enough, I was watching a film on Diane Nyad. She's an Olympic swimmer, and she was swimming from Florida to Cuba. And I watched that film, and it was just like her pure grit and her, that human spirit to never give up and just to go for it and keep going. And I just was like, yeah, that's what my work is about. I'm just going to take that one simple mark and I'm going to repeat it over and over and over again. And that one mark stands for human spirit, the resilience, not giving up, keep going, don't go back, keep moving forward, move through the pain. And and starting on a blank sheet of paper where you've got, it's like writing. I work in these works anyway, I work from the left over to the right. So it's like writing. and they kind of make themselves. I can't control what the overall look is going to be like. And the ones that you're looking at right now, green and yellow, they're made with colouring pencils. So every time I make that single mark, it is just to the point. The paper as well is matched to the pencil. It's gorgeous Fabriano etching paper, and each mark is made with pressure that's just bringing it to almost the breaking point. So, and it takes quite a long time to get through one sheet of paper.
Do you find that the mark making is also meditative for you?
It is, Josh. It's meditative in the way that it slows me down, and I have to sit still, and I've got it. And it's like looking at a blank sheet of paper and knowing that the way I'm working through is so slow, and I have so many thoughts in my head saying, this is crap, stop. I get all that, but I've just got to focus on what I'm doing and just be like, keep going, and move through it. Sit there, but keep going and move through it. And there's a lovely thing of different thoughts that you have in your processing. So there's loads of different emotions and thoughts that I have as I'm going through it, and laughs as well. Sometimes I listen to a podcast and I just work my way through it. So it's encompassed. To me, that one mark is everything it means to be a human being, And the one that we can see now, can you see that one it's very hard to see on a screen, but it's the with the watercolors. So when I work in the pencils, to me that's a physical. I call that graft, as in it's really physical for me to do it. And then one day when it was finished, I put it outside when we had actually sun here in Ireland. Put it out onto the wall, looked at it, and I said, "Oh, I saw it. I was able to see it," and I just thought, "Yeah, I like it." It's a very, very mundane. It's just taking the mundane, beauty in the mundane. There's a lot I could say about these works. Yeah,
that's really cool. That's great, and great to get that little insight into your work too, Earl, and to hear you speak about it so passionately. It's great, and looking forward to sharing more of those works with our Nua Collective members, and then further with you, our audience at home, who follow us across all of our multiple different platforms here at Nua Collective. So that's fantastic, Carol, and thank you so much for sharing that with us. We really, really appreciate you bringing your work to us and sharing them with our audiences, and I hope that everybody gets to check them out on nuacollective.com. So, Josh, where are we at?
Well, Eamonn, I think we're about done with this week's chaos, this week's craziness, this week's insanity. There'll be more next week because it's summer and we can guarantee on humans going crazy.
Absolutely. And what are our subscribers to do if they're not subscribed?
Like us, follow us, subscribe to us, share us with your friends, send it to 5 different people. Fear of missing out is a real thing, and you'll be missing out on me and Eamonn swapping names at some point in the future, just like Stuart Semple.
Just like Stuart Semple. See, look, we're so topical. It's as if we planned it, Josh.
We're pros.
We're pros. We're getting even better. That tea has been spilled. Carol, thank you so much for joining us. Josh, thank you so much for joining us from all the way over there in New York, and from here in London. We are the Nua Collective. We are spilling the RT. See you next Monday.
Thanks, folks.
Over and out.
Thank you, Carol.